these, it's this one. Is song familiar to you?
No.
The theme song to Beavis and Butt-Head.
Did Beavis and Butt-Head a theme song?
Yeah, Beavis and Butt-Head. This is a theme song. I don't know who did it, but every time you'd hear those...
I watch the show all the time. I do not remember a theme song.
Oh, yeah. Their first new film since 1996. Everything Mike Judge does, it might not turn to gold right away, but it'll always come back around. Beavis and Butt-Head do the universe. Since Paramount Plus owns all that MTV intellectual property now, it's all popping up over there. And the new Beavis and Butt-Head movie, it drops tomorrow on Paramount Plus, along with the entire MTV series catalog. Mike Judge announced that he was going to reboot Beavis and Butt-Head. You might remember Beavis and Butt-Head Do America. I do
remember that. That was funny.
That was their film in the mid-'90s. And the new Beavis and Butt-Head movie will drop tomorrow. I don't know if it'll look the same. I don't know. But if you're a Beavis and Butt-Head fan, and it's funny how quaint it seems now, but when it first came out, and they were everywhere. They were on the cover of Rolling Stone, and parents were, flipping their wigs because, Beavis is yelling fire, and parents were worried that their kids were going to light things on fire, a little on the nose.
This sucks, and yeah.
Yeah, right. But it's downright quaint now. So Beavis and Butt-Head Do the Universe drops tomorrow on Paramount Plus.
And then they're doing another season, too, I heard. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. So, they look the same, and they're, I guess, what's the premise of the new movie?
Looks like they go into space.
They go to space camp.
They travel through a wormhole, it looks like.
There you go.
Yeah.
They become convinced that they're going to get it on with the space shuttle captain, played by Andrea Savage. Boy, she's foxy.
She is.
Andrea Savage is underrated as a funny, foxy woman. She had a show called I'm Sorry that ran for 2 or 3 seasons on, I don't know what it was on.
True TV, I think.
True TV. It was buried, but it was really funny, and she's so hot, I think. So no, if you're Beavis and Butt-Head fans, there's that.
She played the therapist in Step Brothers, if people don't know who she is. Right? I think that's one of her better-known roles.
Yeah, she's kind of on the edges of certain comedy communities. You'll see, Jason Mantzoukas and her do a lot of stuff. I think he's her writing partner or something. But yeah, I think she's really, really cute. Alan, you were talking about that kiosk at the Akron-Canton airport that kicks out short stories. They had one like that when I was in Paris, because I mentioned that the vendor is out of France. I went to the kiosk in Paris. I got a story about an owl that drowned.
Who's
so
wise
French.
now, you dumb bird? Surprisingly long legs.
That's right. An owl that drowned. All they saw was a mortarboard floating on top of the water.
How many breaths does it take to drown an owl?
And an unlicked Tootsie Roll pop. Don't forget that Beavis and Butt-Head also introduced an entire generation to the word bunghole. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember bunghole being all that popular before them, but I learned the word masturbation from Beavis and Butt-Head.
Really?
Yeah. Because there's an episode where they're doing a sex ed, and they're not supposed to laugh, and he keeps saying things, and the last thing he says is masturbation, and they just nearly explode.
Wow. All right.
And I was like, what's that? And my brother just goes, it's when you play with yourself. And I was like, explain further. And he's like,
play with yourself.
Yeah.
You mean like when you guys aren't home and I have to play with the... No, not that kind of playing with yourself. And he explained
there's such a bad connotation on... I feel like when I was a kid, if you played with yourself, you were the biggest loser in the world. It made you seem like you were such a dork.
Well, that's because that's a boy thing, too. Mm-hmm. Because, you get to a certain age and you're supposed to be having sex with girls. Yeah.
I just remember in high school, we were probably like either freshmen or sophomores. We weren't like driving yet. My friend got into an argument. He's like, "I've slept with 4 girls."
And how old were you guys?
They're
14 or 15.
I was like, if we're not driving yet, it had to be 13, 14, or 15. And I'm just like, there's no way. He's like the dorkiest guy ever. And he held up his fingers like this.
Maybe he had.
He did. He said, "I slept with 4 girls." You don't know anything.
Are you Facebook friends with him? Get him on the phone. I want to know if he was lying.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what if he had banged 4 girls?
He didn't. Oh my gosh. But it was just out of nowhere because everyone was teasing him.
He randomly chose 4 in that moment.
He was like 4 girls.
Yeah.
And he was
and what girls are they? They go to a different school.
The guys in our school that got laid were guys that had girlfriends, and you always knew them because they were way more mature than we were. No one was just like having casual sex in our high school. You weren't just banging chicks. You had like a steady relationship, like a girl that you dated from like 8th grade and beyond. You guys were like damn near married, and you guys were doing it all the time. Those were the guys that were getting laid, and we didn't talk to those dudes because they didn't want to associate with us because we were way too immature. So I know for a fact that this dude, like when he was just getting roasted, he's like, "Dude, I get laid all the time. I got laid by my mom's friend." I'm like, "That's child molestation."
My mom's
What
friend.
if he did though?
He didn't. Oh my God. I was just.
Maybe he's really cool and you were just.
So he was just making stuff up.
He just wanted to be a man so bad.
He was making stuff up and throwing real people under the bus.
I slept with 4 girls.
Was his mom's friend one of the girls? Was he counting her?
I don't know.
She was a woman.
He would throw things out. He's like, "Whatever, man. Like, I just go to my dad sticks me into the bar, and I'm like, he doesn't. You're not getting laid. You haven't been with 4 girls. Like, you haven't. Stop it."
And he goes, No, I've been with 4 women.
Because there was like guys. There was a guy. Again, he was dating a girl since like 8th grade. He had a daughter by the time we were juniors by this point. And he would like quiz these dudes, the dudes that were claiming they were having sex. He was like, "Okay, well, you guys know how I have had sex because I have a daughter." And so he would ask sexual questions to these dudes and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I ain't done all that stuff yet. Like, I'm not that experienced." And he's like, "Well, he would ask like a part of like a vagina." He's like, "What's that?"
Well, it's not like they ask you to like when you're having
It's not
sex.
health class.
Yeah.
Like what?
It doesn't, but I feel like if you're having sex at
Pay
that
more
young
attention
age,
to my labia majora.
There's grown men who have had a lifetime of sex that don't know what's down there. They would fail that quiz immediately. And who wants to be the junior in high school who knocks somebody up? Like that was the was the grand poobah of sex in your school.
Because he had to go to Lamaze classes and stuff like that.
He saw him up close and personal.
No, he was in my class, and then his girlfriend was in cosmetology. So
yeah, those girls always get knocked.
Astronaut, I get it.
They do. It was always the cosmetology girls, and I always loved those girls because I wasn't out, but I would always go down there and get my hair cut, and they would run their fingers through my hair, and they'd be like, "You so cute," and every so often they'd walk through with their actual mannequin head and then a baby head. I'm like, "Ooh, you preparing?"
Oh, wow.
A baby head was attached to a baby, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, they were always pregnant. Those and the health occupations girls, they get down.
What do you mean health occupations?
Like nurses and stuff.
It's always like the STNAs. Now the ones that are whores that don't get pregnant are the ones. No, listen. Shh.
It's your terminology, man.
I went to the school. I know the hoes that you want are the girls in guys' occupations. Like when you get a girl in auto mechanics or collision repair, she's what we call for the team.
Yeah, right.
You get it. That's what you want because they're the ones. I don't want no kids. I want to live my life.
Collision repair. I love that.
For real.
This is Jessica. She's really into collision repair. You want to collide your genitals into hers.
Every so often, you can see all the pictures of the dudes, and there's one girl there that's just like, and you just know.
Oh, yeah. She's doing that look down thing and eyes up, head down.
Like back in the 90s where girls used to dress like dudes, so they would put their hands on like their crotch and like pose like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called I Want to Be Down.
Holla back, girls.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, Drunk Sue.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, Sue?
Hey, just real quick, I want to say I'm sorry about your daddy.
Hey, thank you.
As crazy as it sounds, my big dog passed away on Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How old was your
On a
big
lighter
dog?
note, about 12.
12. Okay. Will you
Yeah.
will you replace the dog?
Well, we already had another one, so I doubt it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Little dude.
I do.
I mean, Hugs was like 76 pounds, but she got down to 64. She wouldn't eat anymore.
The dog's name was Hugs?
But, yeah, H-U double big G and S, Hugs.
Why was it named
When she was
Hugs?
younger, because she would always give you a hug. When you come in the door, she would just, like, give you a hug.
Yeah, but
Dog should have been called Humps.
Well, I was going to say, I could see naming a dog, but you have to learn that it gives hugs before you name it Hugs.
Well,
Because
it
if you
was
name it
pretty
Hugs, you're
easy.
putting a lot of pressure on if you name it Hugs, and then it's not a snuggly
no,
dog.
it already, that's how she got her name. She's a rescue dog. She was in one of those kennels. They busted this place for a drug,
Yeah,
something or another.
yeah.
And they was surveying the property, and they found 24 dogs in little 3x3 pens. And she was one of the ones that they were breeding. So, anyways,
So they were on record as saying this dog gives hugs.
Well, she just did to the people that rescued her. She
Right.
just would give them hugs,
Gotcha.
and so that's how they named her. And then we ended up getting her, and we just kept with the name because she would always give you hugs.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. No more hugs.
Oh, she'd be all right.
All right.
She's up in heaven with my daughter.
Yes,
Giving
indeed.
my daughter lots of hugs, and they're running around, playing around,
They're
goofing around.
frolicking and hugging everything. That's right.
You betcha, baby.
Yeah.
And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember it now.
Well, you know where to find me.
Distracted. Oh, I know what it was.
Oh, boy.
I was going to call because I didn't know why you guys were taking off all this time.
Yep.
So I was going to call the after hours one and say, hey, I don't remember getting a memo about you taking off time of work.
You know what's funny?
Did
is
nobody
even,
check in with me?
but what's funny is that even when I announce a scheduled time off, people don't pay attention. So either way,
apparently
people
I
get
did not.
snippy. Yeah, well. That's why you got to get on the gram, Sue.
Oh, yeah, right. Like I need to be on more crap.
All right, thank you, Sue. I got. Sorry to hear about your dog. Hugs the dog. Do you get what I'm saying, though? Like, Hugs is not the name you just outright give to a dog.
Well, if it was a rescue dog, it might have already had that name. So,
yeah, okay. Boy, you're brave. Taking a rescue dog that was in some tiny... I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Holy cow, you don't know what the hell that dog has been through, or... If you listen to the show on the iHeartRadio app, by the way, you can leave us messages right there on your phone. There's a little red microphone button, talkback button. You can leave messages for us anytime you like.
Because you guys are out. Also miss you. But we just got to a segment where you guys were talking about how you, Alan, shave your pubes and then leave them in the toilet and don't flush. You, Alan, the man that has said that when he will go to the bathroom to mask his poops from his wife, he will turn on the shower, the faucet in the sink, and the fan just to mask his poops from his wife. Yet, you will leave your pubes in the toilet without flushing. I don't understand you. But God, I love you. Bye.
You know, my wife, that's not really my fault. Gwen's been here and chastised me for this. Except here's what happens. It's not like I shave my pubes, and we're talking about the front, right? Into the toilet?
Yeah.
Because you're doing the undercarriage in the shower. Mm-hmm. The front in the toilet. What happens is, though, I'll do that right before I get into the shower. So it's not like I leave them in there, but I'm not going to flush the toilet before I get into the shower. And on a couple of occasions, my wife has then come into the bathroom and complained because I didn't flush. But I don't leave them traditionally in the toilet. I think that's gross.
Okay, I thought it was going to be you abide by the rule. If it's mellow, or if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. And you have very yellow pubes.
And I do. Very, very. They're like little corn niblets that I shave off the front of my body. And it's, Boy, I'm still trying. Being gone for 2 weeks and being in this hospital room for 12 hours a day, I'm still trying to get my poop schedule back on track. My poop schedule is still way off. It's usually clockwork. But I was like eating once a day and just stressed out.
Once and a half.
No, I mean, I'm still trying to get it on track.
Well,
I'm hoping that I will.
I don't know if it's because I was so amped up I couldn't sleep last night. I didn't fall asleep till like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine today. I'm a little tired, but it's one of those things where I had such a good time being back on the show yesterday. I was like, this is great. And a good night hanging with the girlfriend. It was, but just could not fall asleep because I was thinking about things that we said on the show. I don't know. It was a weird night. And getting back into that schedule, maybe I had to poop. Maybe that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's why I couldn't sleep.
I couldn't sleep because I had to poop. You got to poop your poops. All right, I'll have another $1,000 for you at 5:30. It's going to be your last chance to go fuel yourself today. So listen for that keyword them. After the break, I'll have Hailstorm tickets for you. If you want to go see that show with the Pretty Reckless out at Blossom next month, I will hook you up afterwards. 35192 if you want to text, and we'll be back.